Damn it.
Now it's letting me do all three of us again. Right here, right now. Don't know why that popped in my head.
John, why do you look like you are in Battlefield Earth?
That's a good one too.
We'll have a good talking point.
He looks like the Michael Douglas scenes from Traffic.
Yeah,
all the scenes in DC.
Like very taxing work on this computer, and I think it's had it, man.
You wore out the camera?
So I'm kind of sad. I mean, I haven't turned on this computer in like a month. This is like the personal computer, but I use it for like rendering, and I haven't turned it on in a really long time, and I do not know.
All right. We good to go? You still?
I feel really bad that I don't have an answer to this question, though.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
The Magnus one?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's like I
have lots of I have lots of the opposite.
Okay. We'll just work through
trades I was against that are now awesome, or trades I was in favor of.
Sure, me too.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right. And welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, joined right now with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with Chuck Anderson.
Hey now.
And with John Burr.
Senoritas, how are you?
Good. I don't know. Bien? Kind of a weird.
Bien? Yeah.
I don't speak a lot
Estoy chileando. That's
There
Spanish.
we go.
You are a little chilly? What does that mean?
Chilling.
Oh, that's fine.
I am Chilean.
I thought you
I'm
were.
from-
I thought you were cold. The
I'm
winter
from Chile.
season, possibly.
No, it's
Okay.
74 degrees in Nashville today.
Woo!
Yeah, I was
It
in-
is warm in Christmas time in Tennessee.
I was
Nice.
in California for like almost a whole month, and would, to make myself even further depressed, just constantly check the weather and see that it was warmer here in Nashville than it was in California.
That's crazy.
That is right. John, you made it home on a cross-country trek.
I
know
did.
people, I'm sure, were concerned about your plane, trains, and automobiles situation you gave yourself to race
There were-
home for Christmas.
There were no heartwarming moments,
No heartwarming moments. No sharing a hotel with a stranger.
but I am the genuine article. I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
that you are. Did everyone have a good Christmas? Chuck, you said you're doing Christmas with your family later today. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Kids?
was. I gathered my son after Christmas Day per the parenting plan. So we're doing our Christmas tonight
Yeah.
with my son and my daughter and my girlfriend, her kids, and her kid, and it should
Just
be
the
fun.
10 of us, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's some real weird Brady Bunch stuff. I bought a Christmas present for her ex-husband. It'll let you know how my life's going. So, and life's good. Life's weird, but life's good.
What does one buy the ex husband of a girlfriend?
I bought him cologne.
Okay, then.
A sample pack.
Hey, your
Message
lady said
received.
you smelled bad and you could use this.
This is what the divorce was about. Fix your
Yeah.
next relationship.
This might help you next time, bro.
Yeah.
Move
Try to
on.
step your scent game up,
A
brother.
lot of other fish in the stinky sea.
That's incredible. So I, against our very hesitant leanings of leaving our domicile, we did do family vacation, or we went and saw our relatives, and now everyone doesn't have COVID but is sick. We all have a different non-COVID disease, it turns out, with sore throats and things. And was that just always the case, where you would go for Christmas and then you would get sick and you never knew it? Is this we used to
I
get
don't
sick all
know,
the time
because-
and we never tracked the moments we got sick, and nowadays we
you-
know every day we're like, I'm not 100%.
You might still have COVID, and just the CEO
Yeah.
of Delta has convinced you that you don't yet.
That could be true. I mean, I'm not going anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
Our plan was we're doing Christmas and then we're shutting it down.
I thought because of a tweet you sent that you were at the game-winning shot game.
No, I was not.
I thought that was an amazing captured moment from you. That's how old and washed I am.
No, I was using someone else's video. Someone from the.
I'm not just filmed like Michael Douglas from Traffic. I'm actually from another time.
Yeah, so if you're seeing this on YouTube, for some reason John's camera is off, and there's like a blue wash. Chuck said it looked like Battlefield Earth. It does look like a very he has. I
need a giant Forrest Whitaker and Klingon garb to start menacing me.
That movie was so good, and
Barry Pepper.
It was so enjoyable.
Wait till you see the new Matrix.
Oh man, I have been trying to watch it. And,
Battlefield Earth vibes, baby.
I keep falling asleep. This is not.
Yeah, it took me 4 times. Wait a minute, guys. This is not
a comment on the quality of the Matrix. I fall asleep now watching every movie at night.
I think it just went away. We invoked the name. We invoked Scientology. We invoked Dianetics. I think it's starting to go away. Look at that.
Look, John.
Amazing audio content.
Good. That's incredible.
John just fixed his video in an audio podcast.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
And it's all
he
going
put his
nuts.
hands up and it went away. You got to check our YouTube channel. And while you're there, give us a subscribe.
Yeah. Go ahead and subscribe.
Ring the Raja bell for us if you don't
mind. Gentlemen, on this Christmas break holiday season, have we had any good breakfasts to speak of? Chuck, you had a good breakfast recently?
Yeah, I had a microwave tater tot scramble.
Oh.
Yeah. It's called Devour.
Throwback.
It has like this weird cheese sauce, double sausages, like sausage crumble and like kielbasa. It was salty.
He's back. Chuck is back.
These are not vegan sausages, vegan kielbasa.
No.
Beautiful.
The kielbasa was legit. I'm trying to get like a lot of protein in my breakfast. I try to do big proteins at the beginning, and I think I like meat. So, I think I'm just going to eat meat. Like it's good. I just need protein. My body craves it. And I'm denying myself in ways that are unnecessary.
I did get a text from a friend that went like this. He asked me if I wanted to hear something funny. I said, yes. And then he said, I've seen Chuck at the gym twice.
Chuck,
I was like, that is funny.
I'm working out, buddy. Look at these. Look at those pythons.
Yeah.
I'm down a little bit of weight. I am still intermittent fasting, so I do my like time controlled or time whatever restricted eating, and it's working out. I feel great. I sleep well.
I had to quarantine for 4 days, so I bought every different kind of frozen pizza.
Nice.
And had a one-man frozen pizza taste test. And was disgusted by my own results. So I have had pizza for breakfast a lot.
That sounds terrible.
I love it.
DiGiorno finished last.
What are the rankings of your frozen pizza rankings?
Red Baron, Tony's,
okay,
Kroger, DiGiorno. The exact inverse of what I thought was going to happen.
Does Kroger what price point are we talking about for a Kroger frozen pizza?
$4.99.
The only one I can think of is the real cheap one, and it really grosses me out.
Yeah, it came in a third. It was a bronze medalist in this one-man assault on myself, this Bataan Death Pizza March. But,
the DiGiorno,
my rules were nothing over $5. So
yeah, the DiGiorno ad campaign is incredible, and it's still clearly microwave pizza or frozen pizza. You're like, no, this is not.
And it's bad. Like it is too thick. Like you're getting too much of the pizza.
Yeah.
So not only does it not, it tastes not any better than any of the others. I'm no longer blue. I'm also, it just tastes bad, and you're getting so much of it that it has like an effect on you for like, I would say days almost.
Well, I mean, if you did eat a lot of frozen pizza, I feel like it would be hard to nail down which one is truly the most.
Good point.
Default. I mean,
you may have me there.
Have you had any breakfast?
I have no ripost.
Have you had any breakfast besides the
I'm just going to say that my notable breakfast was being the guy who eats pizza for breakfast for about 5 days. I did feel sort of alive.
That's just a return to childhood, middle-aged, or a return to like the time of your youth when you're like, this is all I have frozen pizza.
If I had a 2 liter of Sprite and like 5 Arby's sandwiches for $5, I would have been, 16 again. I would have been.
Hey, John, I just want to let you know, I fully support your regression, your emotional psychological regression to childhood.
Isn't this what everyone does? Like, isn't it Like
it's what I've been doing.
Dickensian fashion.
This is my Lego obsession. This is just going back to childhood. Man.
Watching nothing but Marvel.
I knew I was going to get no presents of any note. Didn't. And I was like, you know what? I'm stuck here. I can't interact with anyone. Because, by the way, I drove 30 hours home to avoid exposing my family to COVID and returned to a family that had exposed themselves that day.
Yeah.
So it was all for naught. I should have just flown. I should have flown in a Boeing jet full of COVID patients at this point. It's been the best thing about the holidays for me is I actually got a hearty dose of NBA chili.
Mm.
Oh,
and it was a good.
When you say NBA chili, you just mean basketball?
Assortment of undecipherable, unrecognizable ingredients.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was definitely a melange of things. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Like what is this?
It was a gumbo.
My breakfast, I had my wife, as she continues to figure out exactly what she can and cannot eat, made some gluten and dairy-free raspberry muffins. They were actually really great. They were tremendous. They were a victory there. Hopefully they'll stick around in her dietary routine.
Do you think they're great, or do you think that like you're losing the battle? Like you're starting to just kind of, because when I did like my gluten-free thing, like I don't know if anything got any better. I just kind of got used to the gluten-free stuff.
That's
and started to prefer it.
I thought it was legitimately good. I am not restricted in what I can eat. I still eat all my normal things. I thought these were very, very good. I mean, it was a warm raspberry muffin. I don't feel like I'd had a muffin that had like whole raspberries in it, maybe ever before.
Yeah.
And I actually thought it was pretty delightful. So yeah, I would say that was it was a definite win. There are things where she hates that she eats them because she's had them so many times. And I'm like, this is actually delicious. You probably thought it was delicious the first 10 times you had it, but now you've had it 100 times like this, and you're sick of it, but it still tastes really good. But luckily, I'm allowed to eat whatever I want and enjoy. Again,
why sacrifice for her, right? Like, there's no reason for both of you to suffer.
Why would I make her cook extra stuff that I don't even want? Like, no, she's making her stuff that she has to eat, and then I'm running to the cheap Thai food place and indulging myself on all that. Anyway, those were our breakfasts. After our breakfast, we move to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong in a previous episode. It's frequently the first time we talk about the NBA, which the show is ostensibly about. I'll go and kick us off with an apology. We talked about, John, you're enjoying this Christmas chili of basketball where there's a lot of ingredients hidden in there. Yeah. I feel bad, and I'm going to go and apologize for being unprepared for this show.
Sure.
Now, and I've always said I'm a performer. I've been a performer most of my life. You never apologize before you do a thing. You never get up on stage, say, I'm sorry for this, and then do it. It's terrible to do it. But I would like to say, normally, I do a bit of work going into each show. I don't know how much work I could have put in to preparing myself for who these players are. Who are these players playing NBA basketball games?
Nobody knows.
Who is Xavier Sneed and Cat Barber?
Cat Barber is someone who will give your feline a fade.
Two names I enjoy.
Who is this? Trayvon Palmer, Kiefer Sykes, Jordan Goodwin, Chandri Brown?
Not real.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Not real. Like computer generated names.
Yeah, we're not even getting like, I remember that guy from March Madness level.
Well, there's some. I mean, listen, they've blessed us a little bit. We got Al-Farouq Aminu's back.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Anthony Tolliver's back for his 12th NBA team, tying the record. Lance Stevenson, Darren Collison came out of missionary retirement.
ISO Joe
knocking down buckets.
Getting big buckets.
But then Malik Ellison?
No, not real.
Delarnier? Is that one of those electronic musicians you work with, John?
I've picked up people named Omar Yertsevin and Utah Watanabe and started them in fantasy.
Oh, you know these people. Don't be weird, John. We're talking about people we actually don't know. We're talking about Jordan Shackle.
Nope.
Is it Shackle? I don't know.
Shekel?
There's some guy playing point guard for Golden State I'd never seen before in my life.
Oh, that was probably just Gary Payton Jr.
Yeah, Gary Payton too. That guy's awesome.
Oh, he's amazing.
That They did have a guy where I was like, I didn't know this guy on Christmas Day, and I was like, oh, I didn't know he was playing for the Warriors. Oliver Sarr, or is that Olivier Sarr?
What's crazy is
I remember him from a summer league. I'm pretty sure because we made an off-color plague joke.
People have asked how bad it is in as far as between sports, NBA and NFL. I've watched over the holidays. I didn't watch NFL this season, but I haven't watched it in a long time. But I recognize they're kind of like scabby players.
Right.
You know, it was like, oh yeah, he played for Vandy, or like, oh, Josh Johnson, he's played for 14 teams.
Right. He's been around a while.
With this stuff, like, yeah, we are getting, I think it's because like we need that. We're going for the blood boys right now. That's what the NBA is doing.
Well, there's a mixture of it where it still is like, oh, Langston Galloway's back. And then there's others where it's again, these people I've never heard of. Jordan Goodwin. I don't know if I said that name yet.
A lot of them, it's like, oh, I didn't know they were gone.
I didn't know who Quindary Weatherspoon was.
That guy's been around a while, and that's the only reason he's got a name that sticks. Like
Quindary
Weatherspoon, that's an awesome name. Like Xavier name. Moon. The next time I'm gonna remember Xavier Moon because that's a cool name. But
yeah, that's the second best Moon I can remember in the NBA to Jamario, of course.
Shout out.
So I'm sorry for not apparently knowing the next 100 players in line outside of the NBA who were just standing and waiting for the plague to welcome them in the doors.
And if you don't listen to other podcasts, but if you're listening to another podcast and people are claiming to know these guys, they're lying. And don't listen. Just unsubscribe.
I could imagine some people
podcast wars are back.
If they actually follow college basketball, maybe you know about some of these people. I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to find out about these people. I don't remember.
Impossible.
Any
if
of
Keith
these
doesn't
names.
know.
There wasn't a March Madness recently. I mean, we don't even have a window into this madness. It's totally chaotic.
And now we're getting teams have started calling up G League coaches. They've considered doing call-ups because so many coaches are going into health and safety protocols, and they're like, hey, let's call somebody up to sit on the bench, which is all kind of funny if you just ignore the whole disease aspect of it. And it's like, hey, we've got a breakout. You want to come sit on our bench where the breakout is? Like,
it really depends on what part of the country you're in, how you take all this, because when I was in California, it really did feel like the end of the world, and I was extremely stressed out and everybody's super worried about it. And then you come back to Tennessee and it's just like business as usual. Like nobody's got a mask on. Like, let's ride.
Oh,
ho, ho, ho.
We are this household is shut down for a while. We're not doing much anything. Anyway, what are your guys? Anybody have anything you need to apologize for? Yeah, John, what do you got?
So no sooner than last week's show had ended, like basically precisely what I said about the Knicks and the Hawks, like came back and slapped me like a velvet glove on Christmas Day. Cause I did enjoy it. And it kind of turned me on watching the Knicks handle the Hawks. But I had said that there's no way the Knicks can turn it around, while there's no way the Hawks can be this bad. And if you're watching just that game, it gave you the precise opposite microcosm there. Cause Miracle Year Julius Randle was back, maybe if only for one day. And then the Hawks looked as, poor as you could even imagine mustering. So I'm sorry I said anything about those.
More like DeLong wrong, right?
Yeah. Woo.
I watched that game too, and that was at Julius Randle. Oh, he can do this. He can do this. He can look.
He did it for a whole year. I thought he was done doing it, but
But now it's now it's like, okay, he'll give you that twice a month.
Yeah. That's how it feels anyways. I mean,
I forgot he was third team. He was like or second team All NBA last year.
Yeah, something like that. Also, I mean, besides Julius Randle, you had Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Kemba Walker, a man coming from being benched for 10 games. Suddenly, Emmanuel quickly goes down for the Christmas season, which feels inappropriate. And then it's Kemba Walker's turn again. And then he turns in a Player of the Week performance. Pretty incredible.
First triple-double since like 2014 or something insane like that.
Yeah.
Pretty wild game. Chuck, what do you need to make right?
Well, I was a few weeks ago, I said I no longer could stand for Anthony Edwards because of his peanut butter ideology.
Crispity crunchity.
he was a creamy guy alone, and I find that not only did he have a preference, he just besmirched my crunchy,
Right.
which to me was just the offense. You didn't have to go on the offensive against what I feel to be a superior thing. You just leave it alone. So it just put a bad taste in my mouth. But I can't not root for the guy. He's incredible. This year he's just next level. When he's on the court, the Timberwolves are, +5 point differential. He can rebound. He's doing well on defense, well as in middling to average instead of actively bad like he was last year. But Anthony Edwards, man, I know it's probably hard to pick against LaMelo Ball right now as that draft's best player, but I think I'd like Anthony Edwards over LaMelo right now.
It's definitely a discussion.
Right. Going forward.
Here's what people don't know about Chuck. Like, if you come at Chuck, like, don't bring a knife to a gunfight, because he comes back harder than you. So don't besmirch his level of peanut butter intake or how he takes it, because he's going to go over every line that could possibly be drawn.
Look, I come from a long line of people who were stomped down by colonialism, and this is just a byproduct of the epigenetics that are in my spirit.
So, Keith, what do we do about D'Angelo Russell? Because I feel like, although Chuck is like praising Anthony Edwards here, like, I've watched all the variables change in like the Timberwolves lineup that is like unstoppable. Like, Jared Vanderbilt will come out, and Dave McDaniels will come in, and Anthony Edwards will miss a game, and Karl Anthony Towns misses a game, and Greg Monroe steps in there great. And the one variable in the success that is not going away is a player we've made fun of endlessly on this show, and that's D'Angelo Russell. Like, what do we do? We're in the apology segment. Is it time?
I'm not ready to apologize for D'Angelo Russell's basketball play. It's nothing. I don't think that much changed. I mean, he's a good offensive player who hurts you in a lot of other ways. The team is enjoying a tiny bit of the success. A lot of that success is couched in the entire Western Conference is bad, and they're like the one team left. It's been weird with all the COVID protocols. Like, Anthony Edwards hasn't played in 2 weeks, and they still. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I give some credit. This is like sports writer talking head narrative building. I give some credit to Anthony Edwards for just changing culture, changing the mood, but also it's weird. Like, they got rid of all-time culture king Ricky Rubio. They sent him out. They brought in Taurean Prince, and just the vibes around the team are so much better. Maybe it's Chris Finch. Maybe it's Karl Anthony Towns feeling more dedicated. I'm not ready to at least to give it up to D'Angelo Russell yet for like.
I feel like I'm getting close though. Like, when I watch him, like he is always going to have his embarrassing Russell Westbrook moments, but like, he really does help establish a flow on offense and fits in well with what they're doing. I mean, I guess it helps that he gets to play beside like an all-time generational talent in Karl Anthony Towns and a ridiculous athlete in Anthony Edwards. But I don't know. It just seems I'm having to think about it at least. I mean, I thought the Wolves were going to be better, but the Wolves are much better than I thought they'd be.
I feel like if the Wolves had to lose somebody, I think it's clear it's Cat and Anthony Edwards. And then, like, I think they could, if they were fully healthy, I think they could stay above water without D'Angelo Russell, but he is playing a crucial role on the team. I'm just not as convinced.
Maybe he kind of plays the Rubio role. Like, he is like an engine for them.
I'm just trying to figure out did Anthony Edwards do something peanut butter related while he's on COVID that changed your mind? Did you try some smooth peanut butter?
I'm telling you, Chuck realized that he crossed the line.
Just realized
and got too mad.
That's fair. That's cool.
I basically just had to walk back. I react.
Chuck and I have had arguments where it was jocular until it wasn't. And I'm sitting there blinking. And Chuck has like blood on his all over his chest. Well, and it just happens sometimes.
Well, sorry. I've got some more to say about the Timberwolves in my steak and eggs best thing. But before we get there, I want to tell you about the Memphis Grizzlies buzzer beater deal. If you want to get discounts on game day for Grizzlies games, you can text buzzer beater, all one word, to 833-550-0028, and you will opt into discounts. Cheap tickets for that day's game. You can get tickets, get hyped, and save with buzzer beaters. Visit grizzlies.com/buzzer beater for more info. All right, steak and eggs. Best thing. What's the best thing you saw in the last week? I'll go first again. I teased it. We were still talking about the Timberwolves. My best thing by far of the last week is one of those guys who got the call up. One of the guys who we'd said in one of our last episodes, who do you want to see get the call up? This is one of the guys I said, I want to see him get the call up. 31 years young, 2 years younger than teammate Patrick Beverley. The Moose. Greg Monroe is back in the NBA.
The Celtics killer.
He came out with a very short-handed Timberwolves squad on Monday night. And Greg Monroe was dealing against the Celtics. He got off a plane.
Like a lot of assists even.
At 4 p.m. He got off a plane at 4 p.m., showed up for that night's game. He didn't know his teammates. He put up 11 points, 9
He did not know Jaden Noel.
6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He diced up Robert Williams, Time Lord. The Celtics lose this game to an undermanned Timberwolves squad behind Greg Monroe, who looked like he should have been playing the league the last 2.5 years. He hadn't played a game, an NBA game, in 2.5 years. He shows up that afternoon, puts in an awesome stint, gets the Timberwolves the victory. After the game, he was asked, did you know who you were playing with? Did you know any of your teammates? And he said, not going to lie. And by the way, Greg Monroe has an awesome deep voice. I cannot imitate it. He said, not going to lie. Jalen Noel played awesome tonight, but I had no idea who that guy was. So Jalen Noel was 29 points. I mean, I'm telling you, Greg Monroe, is this one of those things where Nate Duncan kept Carmelo Anthony out of the NBA for 2 years by saying he was inefficient? Like, why hasn't Greg Monroe gotten a chance?
Right. Where has he been? Do you know?
He was playing in the G League in Washington recently. I don't know where he was like last year.
So not even big money, like overseas or anything. Do we know?
Were the Pistons still paying him?
Maybe. I don't know.
I can't believe this is a guy who he's my go-to joke about, hey, you know who's younger than you think? It's always Greg Monroe. He's like, there's so many guys in the league. There's so many guys in the league who are older than him, but for him not to play in 2.5 years and to come out and just to get buckets, and he was passing the ball. Like, Lakers fans were bemoaning. They were excited the Celtics lost, but they were bemoaning, like, we have DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan this year has 8 assists.
Yeah. Greg Monroe, that's a game and a half. That's a game and a quarter.
He has 6. He got 2 steals. DeAndre Jordan for the year has 9 steals. Like, Greg Monroe looked like he could play basketball. And there's some guys who've just been in the league nonstop. You're like, why is that guy still out there? So I loved it. I loved Greg Monroe doing it. I loved the Timberwolves getting that win. Shorthanded behind Jaden McDaniels, behind Jalen Noel.
I thought you were going to mention Isaiah Thomas's historic 72-point eye shot performance, but I'll allow this.
Oh, wow. There's been some good eye shoppery recently. Anyway, Chuck, what's your steak and eggs best thing?
My steak and eggs best thing this week, LeBron James, the man who played Michael Jordan in Space Jam 2, is posted something, the Spider-Man meme, where 3 Spider-Mans are pointing at each other. One says flu, one says cold, and one says COVID. And he asked somebody to explain it to him. And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar decided to, if you can, I don't subscribe to a lot of Substacks. Kareem's Substack is sublime. He decided to break down why LeBron James should care about this from a perspective of global pandemic, as well as like how his influence can actually save the lives of people of color in America. And it was a wonderful, wonderful dunk. We've seen this multiple times this year. This is Kareem's favorite thing to do now, it seems like, is to take his probably massive wang and slap LeBron around with it. Using
T-shirt idea. Are you familiar with the movie Game of Death, where Bruce Lee fights Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and ends up with a giant bloody footprint across his check? LeBron jersey, bloody footprint, Kareem's foot.
It's incredible. And I don't know if I know Kareem isn't like a petty guy, and he's not like specifically, he's not out to like make LeBron's legacy look bad. It doesn't feel that way.
He's not Skip Baylessing.
No, he's not.
No, he's pissed. He's legitimately irritated.
He's upset that.
And it is upsetting.
It's super upsetting. Like, I had to cancel a trip. I had to cancel a basketball game. I was planning.
I drove 30 hours.
Like Matt Barnes, I had to cancel a trip with my kid and to like an indoor water park because that was supposed to be fun. Yeah. Now I have to go to 10 hours in a car to Florida because of COVID numbers. And I'm like bugging out over this stuff. I've had to give my kid 2 rapid tests, and LeBron's out here putting memes that like Sean Hannity would post.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't like align with how this world works in my head, with the guy that like really has done wonderful things for people of color in America when he protests and says the things he says about police brutality and how it affects Black and brown people in this country, and then doesn't do the right thing and doesn't listen to the experts when it comes to this. It's just like, bro, come on, man, you could do so much and you haven't.
When he posted that, I think most people actually were like, Kareem is going to dunk on you. Like we're just waiting. Like Kareem's about to do this.
Wait for it.
Yeah. John, what's your best thing?
So I think we saw and I know he's had a good year this year, and obviously, and the Warriors are top of the league, but I feel like we saw all-timer ghost of Draymond passed on Christmas Day. Like the player that you're like, wow, this is like the best defensive player we've seen since Dennis Rodman, like that type of level. And there was specifically a play. This is the most quintessentially Draymond play I've seen in maybe ever, where he initiates a steal on one end, leads the break, do-si-dos, gets the ball back, misses the layup horribly. It gets slapped into the corner, somehow gets his giant frame into the corner, diving out of bounds, turns the dive and loose ball into an assist right at the bucket, gets an assist, no points, a steal and an assist from Draymond. Unbelievable effort and energy on the play. Draymond's not like a player I like, but you cannot watch a play like that or watch any kind of if you watch Draymond on defense this year, an engaged, in shape Draymond, I mean, it's a wonder to behold, and it helps you keep in perspective that it's not just Steph doing what Steph does. Draymond's a thing again for sure.
Well, and you're always reminded of just the stat. I know Ben Taylor always cites it, of just the incredible winning percentage of games that whenever Draymond and Steph Curry are available, the Warriors' winning percentage of the last however many years is just outrageous. It's like they win 80% of their games around there when both of those guys are available. You can even throw out the Durant games, and they're still winning all the time.
That guy had, a season's worth of highlight reel passes in that one game alone. He's second defensive win shares. He's first in defensive box plus minus. It was just, it was a reminder that if Clay comes back, if he's half of what he was, that we can wrap it up, B. Because this team is back in a big way. Supposed to be back
kind of soon. Also, if just Gary Payton too keeps being awesome, he's been amazing for the last week, just filling in. I know the Warriors, they get Wiggins back today, Jordan Poole sometime soon, but they beat our Grizzlies in a close game where it was Curry was unreal, but also Gary Payton too was knocking down everything. And it was if he's knocking down shots.
Gary Payton shot iced us.
That's ball game.
The Clay comeback is there couldn't be a more perfect way for him to come back, because there's going to be no pressure on him, and he'll not have to do they can ease him in with like 15 minutes a night for the first month and like get him to a place where he's comfortable and the equilibrium, like with the ball distribution is going to, usage rates are going to have to be adjusted, but like there's nothing to lose with adding a player of that caliber.
He's just going to be, he's going to be Otto Porter insurance.
Sure.
I mean, like
automatic.
If Otto Porter's going to be on, they're fine. If he breaks down again, well, you got Klay Thompson. That's awesome. You got Klay Thompson to fill in. Those were our best things. The opposite of our steak and eggs best thing is the cream of wheat worst thing. What is the worst thing you saw in the last week? John, what's your worst thing?
So this is kind of a large, nebulous worst thing, but I think it's worth talking about. With all the tumult and all like just the big issue stuff going on, I feel like some of the best stories from this year are pretty much unknown to like even some kind of diehard NBA fans. It's easy to miss. Like, I feel like everything that's happened with the Grizzlies, no one but Keith is like really aware of how insane it's been. And like, I feel like there's some stories, whether it be Desmond Bain or otherwise that like would be stuff that people are talking about and like shared moments we can have, but it's pretty hard to give a damn about the Grizzlies when half the players in the league, you don't know who they are and everyone's struggling with COVID, et cetera. But I feel like we've missed some really cool stories. And I'm sure every fan base has something like this where it's just like, man, no one's even noticing this stuff. Like Ja Morant coming back and hitting a game winner. Like, is it that like, frankly, defies gravity to me? Like, I feel like nobody really cares just because there's only so much room in people's headspace for basketball, and stuff like that just kind of falls on deaf ears, so to speak.
Yeah. What are the stories we should highlight right now? I'm trying to think besides the Grizzlies. I mean, I'm obviously obsessed with the Grizzlies, talking about them all the time over on Grits and Grinds. But I mean, the Grizzlies still having one of the top 10 records in the league now for like over a month.
I feel like the Rockets having that streak would have been a big deal any other season.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of like a lot of stuff can be explained away so easily, but I've seen so many arguments in our Patreon only Slack where somebody's like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. They're missing all their players. And then it's like, well, so was the team they were playing. They're also missing all their players. So everything can just be explained away. Any kind of like variance that's
here's one I haven't said in 2 weeks that I think is one of the big stories of this season that does probably lose out to like, hey, the Lakers are bad, or, these players are missing. We can mention the Cavaliers again. Cavaliers still incredible, still crushing teams. Not only is it their defense over the last 15 games, they basically have the best offense in the NBA. It's like the Jazz and the Cavaliers are knocking down all their 3-pointers. Like the Cavaliers are so cool, such a fun story.
And furthermore, like the Cavs thing is just like, okay, they got Evan Mobley and they're awesome. But there's like so much more to the story than that, because Evan Mobley, like for all of his qualities, I think he's shooting like 42% or something like that. That it's not just Evan Mobley. There's a lot going on, and there just isn't any like room for like depth or nuance, because honestly, there's bigger things to talk about and large distractions looming everywhere. It just seems like a really weird year, and it seems like a year that will be easily forgotten.
Yeah, hopefully once Omicron finishes its
who does he play for?
Yeah. Xavier Omicron. No, hopefully, like once all this pairs down, that like then the season maybe feels more regular, and we do get to settle in on like the really cool stories. It almost makes me wonder, like, John, for fantasy, am I supposed to be trading for players who've already been out with Omicron? Because the ones who haven't got Omicron yet are gonna get it, and I don't want them to miss games later. Is there any good thought process there for fantasy basketball?
That's really good. I mean, I don't know. Like, anytime anything happens with Omicron, I'm like, Keith, ask your wife, help me. Mm-hmm. So like, you need to ask your wife.
Sure. She says stay home. But I'm saying, like, when it's is it the Hawks, where like 14 players of the Hawks that have been into health and safety in the last week. So like we can infer, okay, they're having their Omicron spread. They should be good. Hopefully later in the year, John Collins is not going to miss come fantasy playoff time. I know we're talking about stupid, meaningless things against the context of worldwide catastrophe. I'm aware of that. But
that's our brand.
Yeah, I do think there is something to, like, if it is going around that it's an inevitable event that everyone is probably going to get it, that it makes sense for me that like Kyle Lowry's out.
Yeah.
And the Heat's probably like softest schedule for the next couple weeks. Like they played some bums and they're gonna keep playing some bums for, another week or so. So to like get that out of the way and give, Gabe Vincent some extra tick, like that's an okay thing. Like you're just gonna have to schedule that L. Like it makes me feel like that's happening.
I hate to do this, but I kind of want to ask a somewhat serious question. Do you feel like it is irresponsible to propagate that everyone is going to get it take?
I think everyone in an NBA scenario is going to get it because it's that contagious.
Right.
So I think if we can acknowledge that while then expressing to everyone
because they're
else
traveling the country and
listening, hey, the breakthrough to people who are vaccinated is very, very high. So you should be not traveling if you can help it. You should not be hanging out inside if you can help
Harlem
it. You should
Omicron trotters.
You do not want to get it when everyone else has it because of hospital space. So I think that's the serious answer to you, John, of like,
no, it makes sense.
Thinking about,
it's so easy to fall into saying that. And I feel like if like the people who didn't want anything shut down had stumbled onto this everyone's going to get it slogan long ago, they would have won this battle. This battle, air quotes, a long time ago.
That is a thing that people were saying initially. Like, the fatalism, hey, let's just get it over with, which isn't a case because then, again, we're veering into things I have no expertise or joy talking about because it's miserable.
Sure. Sorry.
It's the whole thing where like if you just let it run rampant, well then there's more variance.
I'm Scrooging this. I'm
gonna do my worst thing.
Is it what I just did to the podcast?
Yeah,
that's fair.
My worst thing. I'm gonna take a page actually out of your playbook, John. And I'm gonna criticize some coaches.
Yes. Get Chauncey. Are you after Chauncey?
Yeah, my worst is Chauncey Billups and Ime Udoka. What in the world are those teams doing? I know they're missing players, but like the Celtics are a joyless basketball team. They are miserable to watch. This loss, probably the Nadir was losing to Greg Monroe and the Timberwolves on Monday night. The Celtics are under 500. Like they're not even hit that hard with injury. I know Tatum was out in this game. But like they need to be doing a little bit better. And then like the Trailblazers, obviously they were still missing a lot of players. But when you get rolled by the Mavericks without Luka Doncic, when you find yourselves, they're 13-20. They're 13-20. Like Damian Lillard's playing, Luka's not playing, and you're getting annihilated. Like things are at a low point for the Trailblazers.
I was going to go back to the Celtics for a little bit.
Either one.
Second night of a back-to-back on that other one, and they had the Bucks having an insane Giannis game, had them beat the night before.
They look so good on Christmas, man.
Yeah,
they look so good on Christmas. I don't know. I mean, and again, I'm not offering any tangible criticism of coaching because I don't know how to do that. I don't follow the Celtics or Trailblazers closely.
It's not our job. Our job is to make fun of coaches.
Yeah, like you have to watch a team every game. I feel like to comment on the coaches, and I do not.
I just don't understand how you effectively get rid of your coach, but promote him to a place to where the new coach can't come in and say what your old coach did sucked. Like having your old coach as your new GM makes the new coach ties their hands, and when you're trying to instill a culture or instill like philosophies, you have to kind of base it off of what we don't do here anymore. And when your new boss is over your shoulder going, well, I like the way we did things here before, in his very whatever buttoned up white way that he talks, like it doesn't check out to me. It seemed like a silly move at the time, and it might be something that is just going to affect the way they do things until they get rid of this coach.
Is Chauncey catching too much heat for maybe Neil O'Shea's sins? Even though we liked the moves that it looked like the Blazers made in the offseason, maybe we should have thought to ourselves, dear God, this is Neil O'Shea making these moves. Maybe they're not so good.
Yeah, I mean, I've been incorrect on almost all the Trailblazers moves.
Yeah, I mean, we did the Larry Nance no pants dance for sure.
Yeah,
and not really working out.
I'm sorry. I'm now currently distracted because a new last 2-minute report just dropped. And the last 2-minute report for Grizzlies Suns, I've been waiting this. I put the over under at 2.5 incorrect calls in the final stretch. I feel like Ja Morant traveled at least once on the final game winner, maybe possibly twice if he landed before releasing the spot. So I'm now scrolling through to see how many calls were missed in the final 2 minutes. Oh dear.
0.
He did in fact travel when he started the dribble. All right, which was uncalled. They did not say he landed. He did release the ball before he landed. A couple of correct no calls. We also had, it looks like 3 other missed calls in the final minute. Wait, that's 1. That's 2. Ooh, the shot clock violation that was called with 8 seconds left, where Steven Adams was adamant the ball hit the rim and they refused to review it. Steven Adams was right. Suns shouldn't have even gotten a chance on that one. There were also 2 other incorrect calls on fouls. That's a total of 4 missed calls recognized. The over hits, the over cashes. Thank you for playing, everyone. That was thing Keith was very excited about that no one else in the world was. Once again, brought to you by the Memphis.
I'm ready for this
Grizzlies.
Keith Parrish, Monty McCutcheon fashion podcast.
Man, you know what? Honestly, I keep forgetting to send an email to the league's PR people to see if Monty will come back on. Explain to me why Chris Paul jumping backwards into Ja Morant was a shooting foul last night. I thought we eliminated that, Monty. Anyway, has everyone done their worst thing?
No, I need
Chuck,
to.
what's your worst thing?
So I sit down, I'm in, my girlfriend's parents' house, and it's Christmas Day, and I'm ready to watch the game that we decide we're going to watch. I'm talking about how good basketball is in a house full of people who aren't basketball fans. And then I see Chris Paul do a rip through move 90 feet from the basket and get called for a foul. Jonathan Kuminga playing amazing defense. It was heartbreaking. I couldn't defend what was just called. I can't say this is the way it is. The only good part of it all was the broadcasts focusing on Steph Curry's absolute dismay of this ridiculous nonsense that should have no place in basketball and should be worked at vigorously to be removed from the sport.
That is one thing I'm going to ask Monty. How is it a basketball move to do a rip through 85 feet from the goal? Like you're going to shoot a jump shot 85 feet from the goal?
Take that good high percentage shot.
I mean, Kuminga put his hand on him, and I guess like he decided I would do side to side. Yeah,
Shark's gonna swim. Chris Paul, baby.
We got to get rid of that. I mean, the rip through as a whole, like what are the negatives to taking that away? Just period. I mean,
yeah,
I understand. I guess I understand that maybe you're giving the defense one too many tools because that essentially maybe brings back the hand check a little bit, but it was I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you, Chuck. That was a miserable moment. It's like, all right, I guess that's the rule, but a rip through 85 feet from the goal.
The Chris Paul PR train's out of control. We need a reminder every once in a while that this is the same multiple ball puncher. I'm not saying he hit both balls at once. He has hit different sets of balls different times in his career. We have to remember. By the way, James Harden, incredible ball punch over the holidays. Everyone, in case anyone missed that.
Those were our worst things. Before we get to the awards segment of the program, we now have a couple of listener submitted questions. The croissant questioner.
Magnus asks, in 2012, the Magic reportedly could have traded Dwight Howard for, wait for it, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. In honor of this, what trade were you happy at the time that your team didn't make, but that you now regret not happening? This is a doozy. This is a thought exercise as well as a memory exercise. So I mean, we have the Delon Brooks debacle we could talk about.
Yeah. Well, that's a fun one where we at the time were both in favor, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Of trading Dylan
still
Brooks.
In favor.
Of trading Dylan Brooks for Kelly Oubre. I mean, that is embarrassing for you to still admit, but that's fine. If you want to roll with it. I mean, Dylan Brooks is incredibly better than Kelly Oubre, but still do whatever you want to do.
Sometimes a gag is just a gag, Keith.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll get there.
Like that. I come from the other way where I can think of a number of trades that I was against that turned out right.
I can feel that's a much easier question, I think.
Where I'm like, I hated that. I hated the Grizzlies traded for Zach Randolph.
Right.
At the time. And obviously that was hilariously stupid.
I think most Grizzlies fans probably hated the Rudy Gay for Calderon trade. I think that,
we're calling that for Calderon trade. I love
that's an easier trade to do. That's an easier. The question Magnus actually asked, I think is pretty hard though.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, like, there are guys who I feel like, what's a trade that could have happened that you wish your team did? Like for the Grizzlies, getting anything for OJ Mayo.
Sure.
Like just trade OJ Mayo for literally anything at any point. Right. Like that kind of would have worked out.
So last year when James
Harden have a number of these.
Yeah, when James Harden was on the trade block, I was like, yeah, let's send Tyler Hero out, but not Tyler and Duncan. That seems silly. I don't know if I want to send Tyler, Duncan, and Kendrick Nunn. Oh no, that's too much.
I feel like we could do like a whole like Josh Richardson passion play about trades.
Oh man. And I was very upset. I owned multiple shirts with Josh Richardson's face on it. And it was a sad day for me to be like, yeah, Jimmy Butler. Okay, I guess I can be excited about him. He's an above average player, but I wasn't at the time. But they sold high and they were right, And right now, I'm still not sure. And ask me in 5 years if I hate the James that we whiffed on James Harden.
I bet that Sixers fans really wish the Ben Simmons for CJ McCollum thing had happened.
Yeah,
or any number of things. I mean,
yeah.
If they would have traded Ben Simmons instead of Jimmy Butler.
Simmons for James Harden, like was that ever available?
I think so. I think that was an ownership, like the Rockets ownership just wouldn't do it.
Well, also, I feel like as a Timberwolves fan, as a Trailblazers fan,
hey, now,
yeah,
a lot of you guys, I'm guessing, I don't want to speak out of turn here. I'm guessing a lot of people now are like, oh, we should have traded Dame for whatever. Is it going to be five first round picks for something? Like you're not getting 5 first round picks anymore.
I think Dame is in like a rarefied place where the fandom loves him so much that there's just no feasible amount that can feel good.
I'm with you there. Where like as a Grizzlies fan, people were upset when we traded away Mike Conley, and the Grizzlies got tons of things that have helped them be awesome. Just tons and tons of things. I remember being upset at the Marc Gasol trade that it was just underwhelming. Where I'm like, well,
sure,
we got Valanciunas, DeLon Wright, and like a second. That's what that seems.
It worked out,
but it worked out great. It was great team building. It's a hard question. I'm trying to think of like, are there any other what are the other famous?
I feel like any of the Kings Buddy Hield trades they now wish they had made,
or just the Lakers.
The Bagley trades.
Wish they traded to get Buddy Hield and Bagley instead of
instead of Westbrook. I mean, there was a time where Marvin Bagley was a needle mover, and now that time has come and gone. So you have to wish that you'd pulled that trigger. I mean, there's just been a lot like this is just one of the tougher questions because it's like it requires you to empathize with almost every party and then pretend that you could have figured it out. It takes like a soothsayer as well as a bit of a historian.
Yeah, I mean,
so being kind of tough.
Being able to know when like your favorite player who's awesome, his time is actually up.
Okay,
like pulling the plug at the exact right moment.
Like I was devastated as a kid for the Dominique Wilkins Danny Manning swap, but in hindsight, Dominique Wilkins gone. He's finished. That's it. Now it turns out Danny Manning's knees also finished. We just didn't really know how bad it was. So it's just
I was super going back to my Heat. I was super sad when we traded Justice Winslow for. I was like, man, this guy, this is our future. We traded our future for Jay Crowder and Andre Iguodala, and man, was that prescient.
Yeah,
Jay Crowder, like still a starter on one of the best teams in the league.
I mean, kind of like the through line of whatever Jay Crowder team is on, and he's playing well. That team is a contender, like for the past 3 years. Like that's incredible to me.
Yeah, I mean that is ignoring what he did on the Jazz and what he did in his time on the Grizzlies, which was not make any field goal attempts at all. Anyway, what's the next
Evan
question?
S asks, what was the best thing, preferably NBA related, that you got for Christmas? Keith, I'm sure you got something.
Oh man, I got a lot of stuff. I bought 2 things for myself, and then my wife gave me some stuff. I did some clearance shopping on NBA.com. I got some Grizzlies socks, Stance socks. I also got this Mitchell and Ness t-shirt. It's red. It's the big face old Grizzly logo. So it's the bear. It's huge, but it's on this red shirt. This red shirt is gigantic. I'm 6'4", about 185.
You're in FUBU garb now.
Yeah, like, was I supposed to know that this Mitchell and Ness shirt was going to be gigantic? I
think you accidentally bought a caftan, buddy.
I look like 2004 Zebo with his huge t-shirts. Like it's like the shirt is a solid. I could put like a good sized, I don't know, bit of firewood, a log. There's like an extra foot of width on this shirt, and then it goes down past my crotch. It's a large. Is that like, what did I do wrong? Was I supposed to know this shirt was going to be that gigantic?
No.
Okay. All right. So this is on you, Mitchell.
You're a large, gangly man. Like
I normally wear a large t-shirt. You know, I'm a skinnier guy normally, but I'm getting older. I'm getting a little paunchier. I figure a large is safe. A large is the safe t-shirt pick. This thing was gigantic. Similarly, sorry, what was
Mitchell
that?
and Ness makes giant shirts. Like that's what they're known for.
Like
their throwback.
Kevin Smith,
stuff.
Adam Sandler, Lego Man.
No, that was me. That's I guess that's what I'm gonna wear. My wife, I asked my wife, I was like, "Is this funny? Like, can I wear this to be funny?" She's like, "No, you look awful." I was like, but can I wear it to a Grizzlies watch party? She's like, "No, you look awful. Like, you can't." But also, so my wife bought me a shirt. This was a very touching, loving present where she bought me a DeAnthony Melton shirt.
Oh,
it's just a white t-shirt with a single color black print of DeAnthony Melton's non-smiling face. He's just a serious DeAnthony Melton face. It also enormous. It's a large. It's one of the it's bigger than the Mitchell and Ness shirt. So I don't have 2 kind of novelty, hilarious Grizzly shirts that I cannot wear at all. And like Chuck, you can't even you've lost so much weight. This would be huge on you.
It would be too small for me.
John, these shirts would fit you comfortably.
Man, can I get them?
Yeah, I will bring them by. Yeah,
this reminds me of the time I bought a bubble related NBA Disney shirt with Mickey Mouse, a Heat shirt. It was way too big for me, and I gave it to John Burke.
You're right. That's right. Chuck's birthday gift, which he still hasn't picked up, is similarly. I look at it and I'm like, this is too huge. Like this must just be like Americans just must be enormous now.
They just
like they're all on they're on my like pizza trough of death plan.
But to answer the what I got for Christmas, that's basketball related. That's also Christmas related. Holding up to the camera right now. I have a mulleted, headbanded nutcracker with a basketball in front, looking like he plays for the Sixers, perhaps, maybe a Clippers team. Not sure. Could be maybe like a black-haired Chris Kaman, but with hair.
Adam Morrison.
Adam Morrison look. So this is what I got. And if you go to our YouTube page, you can see it. Also, while you're there, give us a subscribe.
Ring that Raja bell. Hey, so I have a scam I pulled over the holidays involving nutcrackers. Did you guys see the gay nutcrackers at Target?
No.
So there's like gay pride nutcrackers, and like they were like selling for like $100 on eBay, and my old lady sent me to the Target to buy all of them. So we did.
Target.
Well, at the Kroger's, to the Target, and we bought them all and sold them on the internet, and that was our that's how we paid for Christmas this year.
Just by reselling Pride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gay Pride nutcrackers pretty much financed Glenn the Big Dog Robinson's Christmas presents this year, and we kept one for our mantle.
There you go.
I only got one Christmas related gift. It was part of our Patreon only Slack Secret Santa that I do every year with the guys and gal, and I got not one but two Larry Bird toys from Ben Ready, Vin Ready, the Quasimofo, one of our champion slackers, and they will be. Unfortunately, I already had one of them because I'm sick, but now my daughter has her first Larry Bird toy at 19 months, defeating my first Larry Bird shirt at age 3 or 4. So it'll be passed on.
Those are amazing gifts. I also, by the way, got a bathroom set, a John Morant bathroom set, John Morant toothbrush holder, a John Morant soap dish, and a little John Morant trash can, little waste bucket. That's all
outstanding,
hilariously
brittle,
decorated.
fragile.
Well, I'm sure they're also very, very, very fragile. Probably not made for real use, but I am going to, in fact, put them into the rotation. Anyway, thank you for the questions there. If you out there want your question answered on air, you have to become a Patreon supporter. Join us at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. If we don't answer it there, we will also get around to it on the Zoom Hangout, the Patreon Zoom Hangout, which we might do in the next couple of days. TBD. If we don't get to it this year, this month, we'll do double for you in January. So we try to balance our work life and travel balance there this holiday season. But if you want to support the show, get involved with the Slack chat, get involved with all the other stuff we do. Patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. Also, with the start of January, it's a new month of Pickle Pick'em, where we pick each game against the spread Monday through Thursday with the prize for first place and last place. Can't beat that. Join us at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right, it is now time for the awards segment of the program. The International Stackhouse of Pancakes, given each week to the worst performance in a box score. We have a few honorable mentions. Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Schroeder, and Willie Ernan Gomez, 1 for 11. Evan Fournier and Campaign, 2 for 13. And Buddy Hield, 5 for 22. Our 3 nominees that we are choosing between, as they occurred chronologically through the week. Talen Horton-Tucker of the Lakers, in a loss to the Suns, was 1 for 13. 3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, no steals, no blocks, no turnovers, 1 personal foul.
Woof.
DeJounte Murray, in a win against the Lakers, was 3 for 16, 9 points, but he had 13 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, no turnovers, 1 personal foul. Actually, that's just a good game. Yeah. 3 for 16. Everything else was awesome.
What?
And then on Christmas evening, Russell Westbrook, in a loss to the Nets, he gave us a natural 4 for 20.
Hey now.
13 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. That's right, a 4 for 20 triple-double. Woo! It was merely the 4th worst shooting triple-double of his career. That's right. He's had 3 triple-doubles where he had a worst field goal percentage. He also had 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 5 personal fouls. So we have Talen Horton-Tucker, 1 for 13, 3 points. DeJounte Murray with a 3 for 16 good game. And then Russell Westbrook, a 4 for 20 triple-double.
So confusing.
I'm all hopped up on THT, baby.
Yeah, not the THC vote. It's going to be the THT vote. And Talen Horton-Tucker for me as well. Chuck, did you want to weigh in?
Contractually obligated to vote for every 4 for 20.
All right, you did a 4 for
There
20.
you go.
But Talen Horton-Tucker is the winner by a 2-1 vote with his 1 for 13 game. Now it's time for the Lethal Lottery. America's least favorite game. John is back home. The Jack-o'-lantern is back in rotation. This is a year-long contest where John, Chuck, and myself try to pick the player who's going to do the worst on the nationally televised TNT games. There's a twist This week, there is no nationally televised TNT game. So we're just going to do the Tuesday night NBA TV games.
We're going to do Nuggets Warriors, the 9:00 one.
The Nuggets Warriors will be our game we pick from. The way we do it, we draw from the Jack-o'-lantern. If you get the silver ball, you get to pick a player. If you get the Stern ball, named after the great commissioner of days past, you have the option of using your commissioner powers to swap your player with one of the other players. The goal is to pick the worst player. Chuck, you lost last week, unfortunately.
Barely, by 0.2, I think.
Your Max Strus didn't do quite good enough for you. He had the best game.
I would have never picked Max Strus.
No, you actually submitted your picks beforehand. It is lore. I said it on the show, and thus it is canon. So now, Chuck, it is your turn to draw from the Jack-o'-lantern. We'll see if you get a silver or Stern ball. It's a silver ball.
Silver ball.
We're going with Warriors Nuggets. Players from the Warriors Nuggets game.
It's tough.
Give me Juan Toscano Anderson.
Toscano Anderson. Let's make sure he is off of health and safety protocols.
Theft Auto. I think he might be out.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure.
Looks like it's okay.
Looks like he's okay. Juan Toscano Anderson.
I like that one.
John, you go ahead and pull now for yourself out of the Jack-o'-lantern. And John has the dreaded Stern ball, which is good for him.
Okay. I will take Steph Curry.
You're going to take Steph Curry and maybe stick him with one of us. I'm going to make it confusing.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins is expected to play. I'm going to take Andrew Wiggins.
Okay. If one of our players doesn't play, the Slack, patron only Slack, will vote for a replacement player. So risky, but I like it. I like it.
I'm going risky.
I will switch.
Yeah.
Looking at the standings, I can kind of tie it up between the two of you if I give.
That's right. The standings are: I'm in last place with 5 negative fantasy points. Chuck has 3. John has 2.
Let's get a little separation between Chuck and I. I'll hand you Steph Curry, Chuck.
All right.
Thank you for the GTA.
So Chuck will be riding into the game with Steph Curry cheering for a bad game. He's had some stinkers. He's had some stinkers recently.
The last time someone tried this strategy was Keith last week, and he came within 0.2 points.
I have already lost with the Stern ball once and nearly did it again last week. And all right, so I'll have Andrew Wiggins, who could definitely lose it for me. John, you'll have Juan Toscano Anderson. All right, par fadeaway, gentlemen. What things are we looking forward to in the coming week?
I'll stay on this game that we just did for the Lethal Lotto. I'm looking forward to this 2 games in 2 or 3 days for the Nuggets and the Suns, the Nuggets and the Warriors, because I feel like if I don't see something out of the Nugs in these having 2 games against one of the best teams, if I don't see something out of them, I feel like I can kind of write them off as a contender this year. I know that's not really a big statement or anything, but for me, a huge Nuggets fan, I feel like I'll be able to put that to bed, even if, Jamal Murray comes back and somehow is like, a perfect facsimile of his old self. I'll feel like they're in big trouble if they can't, but I'm hoping that they can.
You know what's going to happen?
Oh,
I mean, the Grizzlies are going to get the 4 seed and have to play the healthy Nuggets at the 5 seed. They're going to play Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic in that first round. It's going to be awful. It's going to stink. I'm going to hate it. The play-in tournament's going to be this. So actually, this is my part fadeaway. My part fadeaway is the Western Conference stinks. There are only 4 teams with a winning record.
Yeah.
The Lakers lost 5 straight and didn't move in the standings. How's that possible?
Yeah.
Like the Spurs are catching everybody. Like there's no, like we joke about the Trailblazers being 7 games under 500. They're in 10th.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
The play-in tournament is going to be all teams like with horrible records. I mean, maybe one of these teams, like if the Lakers get healthy, it's going to be weird. I mean, it is fun that they'll have like backs against the wall, win or go home style games. but I feel like it's going to be some bad news for some of these top seeded teams. And I do think it's going to be, we're going to be in a very painful, our favorite team, the Grizzlies, against our usual second favorite team, the Nuggets.
I'm rooting for a battle of Los Angeles for the play-in. That's what I want to happen.
It'd be amazing. I mean, the Clippers are in tough straits right now with no Paul George. Their like schedule also is insane. They have these 4 games in 5 nights, and it's like, why did the Clippers get so many 4 games in 5 nights? Like we tried to get rid of those. Why are they playing so many? Maybe it's 4 and 6. I can't remember, but they have like this hard stretch where no one else in the NBA has to play so many games packed together. They're doing it all without Paul George. Yeah, it's basically, can any team get above 500? If so, you're going to avoid the play-in.
Chuck, what are you looking forward to, old boy?
I'm using this opportunity to bring up Tyler Hero and him currently, Keith. He's averaging 20.2 points per game.
It is true.
20.2, even after a 2-point stinker where he got
2
ejected.
points in his last game. 2.
Where he got ejected. But over the past 10, he's only been playing like 26 minutes or something a game, back looking like a bench player instead of being his Spoelstra's 6th starter. Omar Yertsevin, oh my goodness, he's led the Heat in rebounding, double-digit rebounds the last 5 games. The Heat are just fun, and they've got such a stinky schedule. I prefaced it earlier. We got Washington, San Antonio, Houston, Sacramento, the next 4 games. I'm
Sounds
excited
like 1
about
and 3
that.
to me.
And we've got some tough ones. Golden State and Phoenix, Atlanta on a back-to-back. Well, not a back-to-back, playing 2 games in a row. So we need these victories while Kyle's in health and safety protocols.
You're fine.
We'll be fine. I'm not worried. I think, if this was a one of those seasons where like injuries mattered, Spoelstra's coaching would be coach of the year level, because he's pulling incredible performances out of guys like Gabe Vincent, Yertsevin, Max Strus is balling out of control.
Cody Martin's
insane.
back.
Cody Martin, Caleb,
Cody Zeller Martin,
because Cody Zeller Martin.
Yes.
Caleb, I learned it. Caleb Martin's back. Off the
I got there too. I used your device.
Yes, Caleb's getting big tick. He's going to have to get that 2-way upgrade.
This is about Gabe Vincent, Chuck, and you know it.
So Chuck,
so nice.
Tyler Hero has had under 18 points in 5 of his last 7 games.
Yes.
Although in the 2 he had more. He had like 30. 55. Yeah, he had 55 total in the other 2 games. So I can't figure out Tyler Hero. I'm rolling with him in the negative fantasy league. It's just like a wildness. It's like negative 20 some games, then he gives me 40 the next. It's a roller coaster, the up and down. I'm betting on the down. I haven't done the math. He only needs to average like 16 for the rest of the way. But I'm saying the last 7 games, he's at about 15.5 per game. It's not as sure. It's like very, very sure. It's like Hillary on election night. It's not going to fall. There's no way that it would not happen. Anyway, that's the show. Thanks you guys for hanging out with us. Got to tell you to go visit grindcitymedia.com today for the most up-to-date and exclusive coverage and analysis of the Grizzlies you can get. Grind City Media is always their home and road, providing the most comprehensive Grizzlies coverage. Plus, get your local and regional sports fix. It's all in one spot. For more information and behind-the-scenes access on the Grizzlies, go to grindcitymedia.com or follow on Twitter at grindcitymedia today. You can also follow John on Twitter, Master John Burr, Chuck the Mighty Chuck. Follow me, Fastbreak Break. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
I'm going to continue searching for my daughter from the clutches of Topher Grace. See you guys later.
She's smoking crack, man.
I will